Okay, so you kind of hinted at it, but we took this $32,000 and then went and bought another house.
Yeah.
Do you want to do the honors?
I would love to. There we go. So with our $32,000, we purchased another house for $28,000.
We're back in Saskatoon, and today I'm joined by Britt, who you maybe recognize from Instagram as InvestorGirlBritt. She's a jack of all trades, capable of taking on any renovation project. You're 27 with 13 properties.
Yeah.
And you bought a house for $28,000, which we're going to discuss in today's video. All that and more, let's get into it. $42,000 for a house. Do I have that right, Britt?
It's correct.
Okay, so in today's video, we're going to dive into the numbers. You can see we've already got it laid out. I know the fans are going to have a ton of questions about, first of all, what does $42,000 buy? Where in the world are we buying? Yes. And then let's walk through it.
Yeah, so rural Saskatchewan is kind of where we invest, and we bought this place for $42,000. It's about an hour outside of the city we live in, so we really like to kind of get out and explore different markets.
Yeah.
And so our renovation cost $30,000. We pretty much fully gutted. Like, the bones are really great on this place, but just needed a little bit of an update.
Paint a picture, like how many beds and baths are we talking?
This one's 4 beds, 2 baths.
Oh wow, that's actually like a good size too. 1,400
square feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And so what age of construction are we talking?
It's 100 years old.
Okay, century home.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So some cool character as well.
Yeah. And so $42,000, can you finance that? What does that look like?
So we bought this one with a personal line of credit, so paid cash, I guess.
Yeah.
Because the banks won't finance something like this with the low price point and like how much renovation work was required. They wouldn't finance. So we bought it on our personal line of credit.
Gotcha. Yeah, 'cause I know I've heard, at least for Canadian lenders, that usually it's around the $60,000 to $80,000 is where it becomes possible to finance it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. And so you're $72,000 all into the deal.
Yeah.
ARV 131.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Pretty great result.
How did you figure out, like, was this what you were expecting for your ARV when you started, or do you mind walking us through that?
Yeah, well, that is what we expected. Actually, our numbers were pretty much exact what we expected to spend on the renovation and then what we thought of the ARV, because we did look at our comparables beforehand just to make sure we could pull all that money out and then some.
Yeah, and so you guys do a lot of the work yourself, right?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Any idea, like, the number of hours or what you would attribute to your, like, labor being worth?
Well, this was about 6 months, and labor, I don't know the hours, a lot. A ton of hours, but it pretty much was a full gut, and then the exterior as well, so we did everything. But yeah, lots of work, but it was really fun, and I love being hands-on with the renovation, and I love learning these skills. So it was a huge learning curve for me, and I did a lot of the stuff myself, so it was fun.
And
it was
so
a good project.
Project number 9, right?
Yeah.
So you've already got some renovation experiences, obviously. Yeah. Do you mind just kind of sharing with the audience, like, what level of renovation experience do you have?
Well, pretty much we do everything. So we do demolition, we do insulation, vapor barrier, floors, painting, everything.
So you're comfortable pretty much tackling any job.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Any job, I can do it.
Awesome. So when you're getting the property appraised, is there anything special that you're doing? Like, are you providing comps to the appraiser, or do you just leave it up to fate? What does that look like?
Well, this one, actually, the appraiser just came in. It was pretty fair to us, like, from what we've seen. Like, that was pretty much exactly what we were thinking. So, I mean, we thought it was pretty fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I guess I actually forgot, was this on the market or private?
This one was on the market. So it was listed for $49,500, and it was actually a big owned property. So we got it down a little bit, but they didn't budget whole ton. I think we offered maybe $35,000. So got it to 42.
Yeah. Okay. So then we have the loan to value 80% because now you were appraised at a value high enough that you can actually get a traditional mortgage.
Exactly.
And then so equity out $32,000. That's fantastic. So this is more than just like a pure BRRRR. This is like an amazing BRRRR.
Yeah, we're pretty happy with that because this amount actually paid for our next house. So it was, these numbers just work so great for us.
And then do you mind just walking us through what we're looking at here?
Yeah, so now we get $1,100 rent. Tenants pay all utilities. We have great tenants in there now, and it's quite easy to find. We also do ghost ads beforehand just to make sure we can get that number, because we don't want to get this mortgage on it and then not be able to get the rent we thought we could. So did the ghost ads, made sure that we could get that amount, and our expenses with this mortgage included is $730. So we are cash flowing positively at $370.
That's an amazing return on investment. So do you mind breaking down for us, what's the difference renting a property in a small town versus like a larger city?
Yeah.
So like, does it sit vacant longer, you know?
Well, I've actually found in my experience it rents quicker and tenants do stay longer than they do in the city. There's lots of competition in the city where I live, the main city, Saskatoon, where I live now. So there's a lot of competition here. In the smaller centers, like a lot of the time, there's not a lot of nice places to rent. So we put in that extra effort, like do nice backsplashes and everything like that.
Yeah.
So we do find really good quality tenants.
And the fact that your tenants stick around isn't a bad thing, because in Saskatchewan, you guys don't have rent control.
Exactly.
So
yes.
that's a really
something I didn't know
part
about.
of this whole story is that that's a good thing. That's not a bad thing.
Yes.
That her tenants stick around.
Yes.
Okay, so you kind of hinted at it, but we took this $32,000 and then went bought another house.
Yeah.
Do you want to do the honors?
I would love to. There we go. So with our $32,000, we purchased another house for $28,000. This was a great place as well. Didn't need a ton of work. This came on the market and we picked it up pretty quickly, but it was just, there wasn't a ton. It was really cosmetic. The one we spent $30,000, obviously it was more of a gut, but this one, like pretty much just lipstick. The condition was awesome. So we're really happy with that price. I think it was listed for 40 something thousand. So we were able to negotiate quite low. The thing was they didn't have utilities on for over a year, so then you needed all the inspections, and it was something I think a lot of people weren't willing to do, but we were happy to do it.
Because that can be quite intimidating, say if it's your first project.
Yeah, and you really don't know what could be in the pipes, like it could have been bad, but.
What did this property look like? How many bedrooms, how many baths? Is it another century home?
Yes, it is, and it's 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, and I think around 1,000 square feet. That's what we usually like to stick to. Anything smaller, it's a little bit more difficult to find tenants, but yeah, pretty good space. And renovation cost $5,600, so not huge. Total is $33,600, and I think on our last place we pulled out of our BRRRR $32,000. So this is our free house.
Yeah, I love it. And so. $5,600, you know, doesn't sound like it'd go very far if the utilities have been cut off and stuff. But so I'm guessing like the HVAC system must have been fine.
Yeah.
Most of the electrical and plumbing must have been fine. You just needed to reconnect it.
Exactly. So we did have a plumber come in to do a few things. We had to get everything permitted, and I mean it did take a little bit longer, but this still only took probably 6 weeks to totally finish.
Fantastic.
So it wasn't it ended up being a good result, because it could have gone a little bit worse than that. Like if the plumbing was just terrible or the electrical needed a ton of updates, it didn't. Like they actually did a lot of work on this property before, so we were lucky.
Awesome. So we're 34,000 all in.
Yeah.
Appraisal comes in.
Yeah. So this one we didn't refinance yet. So we're going to wait. We have a few properties free and clear, so we're going to umbrella them all and mortgage them all kind of under one.
And so if you don't mind maybe just walking through with the audience why you decide to go, say, a portfolio loan approach versus just getting individual mortgages on these smaller priced houses.
Yeah, well, it's tricky with the banks. They don't love these ones, and we don't want, like if we have 10 properties, we don't want to have to get small mortgages on each one. It just doesn't really make that much sense.
And you don't want to like maximize or max out your personal mortgages on these small dollar amounts.
Yeah, we would prefer to do it in the city with the higher priced homes, so, and then hold those long term, and then eventually, BRRRR those in the future as well.
Awesome. And then so, you mind breaking down our numbers?
Yep, so rent we get $925, expenses $253, and the expenses are so low on this one because we're using that money. We don't have any financing on this, so then we're cash flowing $672. So the total cash flow with these 2 properties is $1093.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So I think one of the first questions I'm probably going to get on this YouTube video is why would someone ever rent when they can buy a house for, say, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000?
It's a good question.
So I'm guessing that probably it at least in part has to do with they have to buy this house in cash.
Yeah.
So you need literally that cash amount. It's not like, oh, I can debt service a $33,600 amount. It's no, I actually have to have $33,600 in cash in order to go do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you need the cash. A lot of people, like there's a lot of industry that they don't exactly know where they're going to be. Like there's the CN railroad workers in some of these cities. And
so a lot of temporary employment or short term.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
But those guys, like, they don't know. It could be 5 years they're working there. So it's good for us because we don't have to worry about finding new tenants for 5 years. But they don't want to buy in the town because they don't know what it's going to look like.
And I imagine like in a smaller town in Saskatchewan, like 5,000 people, if you're not probably originally from that town, it's probably, there's not a lot of things pulling you to want to put down roots there.
Exactly. So yeah, we've had no problem finding tenants. Like there's lists of tenants that we could rent to, so.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so like both these deals were done within like the last year or two, right?
Exactly, within the last year.
So can you still find properties like this in rural Saskatchewan?
Yeah, we've been able to. Our recent property, actually I think we paid, so our recent property we just bought, we closed on it a few days ago, but we got that one for $35,000. Huge garage, like character home, I love it, but we'll be able to rent out the garage separately and then the house, so we get a little bit more rental income that way as well.
Yeah, I love being able to rent out parking spaces or garages or just any of those additional things, especially in our markets where we have rent control, because those don't fall under rent control.
Oh, interesting.
So we can potentially rent out like a parking space for $25 1 year and $100 2 years later.
Okay.
And so that kind of is a way that us with rent control, we can try to work around. But again, in a market without rent control, that's my preference.
Yeah, of course.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Britt, for kind of breaking down the numbers for us and sharing it. Really appreciate it. If people want to get in contact with you, what's the best way?
Best way is definitely Instagram. My user is at InvestorGirlBritt. That's my main platform, so I share a lot of our renovation, share a lot of tips and tricks, so yeah, follow me on there and send me a message if you want.
Yeah, and she's constantly showing the actual projects like that you're undertaking. I think it's fantastic, especially like the time-lapse ones. I've seen tons of engagement on them. And it's fantastic. So if you guys want, I'm going to throw it in a video link down below. Jump over to Instagram, follow Britt. And otherwise, if you guys enjoyed this video, smash that like button. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to my channel. And until next time, remember, making money is a team sport. There's more than enough money in this world for us to all make it, but if you're not saving it, I mean, like, what's the point? Thanks, guys.